Hey friends, so today we got a jaboticaba sampler. I've got let's see, we got some Grimals here. I've got an Escarlate right here. I've got some Sabara, some regular old Sabaras here, and some reds. So you rarely ever see people get to compare these right next to each other, but when you're looking at them, these actually are some smaller Sabaras. The ones I had on my last video were bigger, but so here's some. We can just try these out anyways. So maybe we'll start with this one since we've had this already. These are a little bit smaller, like I said. These are probably around. These look like they're about 2 centimeters. Maybe we'll go ahead and measure all of these out. So the Sabaras are 2 centimeters. This Escarlate or Scarlet is about 3 centimeters, and then these Grimals are pretty big too. This Grimal right next to this Escarlate is about 3 centimeters too, so pretty big. Now these reds here are about 2. So other than that, we'll look at the outward appearance. These Sabaras are just pretty much really dark, almost black. We don't see much of the flower scar here. So not too much to say about that one. The Grimal is has kind of a little fuzzy, it almost like a little fuzzy coating, or not like coating, but just it's fuzzy on the outside, just barely. Excuse me. And then we have just a little bit of the green still here. Maybe this is not totally ripe, but the only other thing I can distinguish is that it has like remnants of the flower a little bit here, and it has like a little fuzzy texture to it. Now the reds are pretty similar to, has more of like a burgundy, really deep burgundy color to the outside, and yeah, so almost just as dark as the others, but if I held it up probably in the sunlight, you could see these have more of a red tint to them. And this Escarlate, the Scarlet, which is real pretty. I think this is such a pretty fruit. It's got like the kind of splashes of green here and streaks throughout right here, and you can see like kind of some ridges on the fruit that kind of come down all the way down. And here's the bottom of the fruit. We'll go ahead and get to sampling them. These right here are just some wax jambu I just kind of had. Usually these are a lot bigger, but I just put them here for some color. So the Sabaras we've already seen. I'll just go ahead and open one up and we'll take a look inside. This one's got the 2 seeds. It's got that nice kind of white gelatinous looking flesh, and we'll taste it. That's really good. It's I think, as I described before, it's similar to sort of like a grape mixed with a lychee. I've got these 2 seeds here, pretty small. So let's try the red. Here's this red. Now the red, this one's a lot more juicy. What I meant to do too is test the brix on these things. So look at the inside of this red. It's almost got some mauve or pink kind of coloring to it. Now I'll taste it. Well, let's do my brix meter. This one is 23. It's got a brix of 23. I'll go ahead and sample it. Here's the seed. This one's pretty big. It's got 1 seed, but it's pretty large. Now the flavor is different than the Sabara. It's got, I think, a little more tang to it, a little more complexity, which is also good though. Let me try this. Let's look at the Sabara. I'm gonna get the brix on it real quick, and then we'll come back to sampling it one more time. All right, so I've got my refractometer all cleaned off. We're gonna put a little bit of juice on here. This one is 20, right at 20. So I think this one we said it was 23, so it's a little bit sweeter. At least that's what it tasted like to me. I did eat the peel or the rind on this one, so it tasted fine to me. It was thin. It didn't. I felt fine just eating the peel, the whole thing. But I didn't. Let me try that Sabara peel. The Sabara peel has, I guess there's more of the little tannic flavor in it. So the red had a thinner peel to me, and just was didn't really interfere so much. I think it maybe complemented the flavor of the whole thing. So when you eat the peel of the Sabara, it stands out a little bit more. It doesn't blend in so much with the total flavor of the fruit. Let's try a Grimille. Let's go for this big giant one here with the cool coloring on the bottom. So I wiped off my knife. Okay, not as juicy. And this all can depend on how ripe the fruit was when you pick it. A lot larger fruit. It's got the inside, the peel, or the skin of the fruit. It's got some green to it. It's pretty clear. Whereas, let's take a look at this. So let's go ahead and see what the sugars are, the brix level on this is. A little bit lower. This one is about 16. A lot of people love the taste of Grimal, so let's see how this tastes. You know, it's the brix doesn't always have everything to do with the flavor. Sometimes it's just the overall how everything comes together. Let's try it. It's more mellow. This one has a more mellow flavor. It's good. It's really good though. The peel here, the husk, you can feel a little bit of the fuzziness on your tongue of the peel. This one, it's even stronger than the Sabara as far as the how the peel stands out. It's got like it's borderline on really sour and kind of bitter, but not in a way that it's real bad. Let's take a look at one of the seeds here. I gotta say, these fruit and trees are in such demand that each one of these seeds, unlike a grape seed, if you ever get grape seeds, they would seeds in them, you'd spit them out. These seeds are pretty valuable. You're talking about like each one of these seeds, depending on the variety, can be at least $1 each. Can you believe that? So here's the seed. It's pretty large. Unlike the red with the kind of pinkish mauve tint to it, this one's totally white. Just like this one's white, just like the Sabara one here, but the Sabara seeds are a little smaller. So let's look at this Escarlate. I'm just gonna wash off my refractometer again. So we're good. As I mentioned earlier, this is a really pretty beautiful fruit. Let's go ahead and open it up. Feels like it's got a really thin skin to it. Now it doesn't, it's all adhering to itself. It doesn't want to kind of open up as easy. Let's get some of the juice here on the refractometer and get a reading. Oh, surprisingly, this is a lot lower. It's a lot lower. It is actually at 12. So I'm curious as to how it tastes. The skin on this, or the husk, or whatever you want to call it, it's pretty thin. It's just like the red. So the flavor, first thing I kind of noticed, it seemed a little watery, more watery. It wasn't as sweet, but nonetheless, it's still tasty. Let me try it again. It's good. They're all good. Now, let's see. They all have pretty different profiles, flavor profiles. It's hard to tell. If you want a milder fruit that isn't just all sweet, maybe this is it. Let's try the Grimille again. Now this is pretty mild as well. Different flavor, has a little more sweet to it, and less. This one has a little bit of tang, or it's got a little more of a kick on the not the sweet side, and the red. I think it's got a pretty good balance of both. That's pretty good. That's the old this is the Sabara, which almost everybody has. That's really good too. So I think if in order of sweetness, it's probably the Sabara, and then at least what you could detect on when you taste it versus what's on the refractometer, which I guess kind of lines up too. So this is the sweetest tasting, nice overall flavor. The red is I guess maybe in second place with nice overall flavor and sweetness. The Grimille is really good. The peel or husk has a little bit more of like the fuzziness, and it's thicker, so you wouldn't want to really eat that. And this Escarlate is pretty mild on the sweet side, but has complexity as far as it has some, not sour, but it's got some tart to it, and other flavors than just maybe just kind of like sweet. Now this one tastes, I guess the Grimille tastes more like a grape, kind of like a Concord grape, I guess. This one tastes like something similar to that too. It's hard to compare it to grapes. It's different. A lot of it varies. It varies in the texture of the fruit. It's just totally different. As I was saying earlier, they're kind of more slimy. I don't know if people who don't like certain textures will like these fruit as much. But I guess it's sort of like it's different. So it's hard to really explain. So let's move this out of the way for a second. And just for fun, we'll look at this wax jambu. I love eating these in the summer when it's hot out, because it's just like eating, it's sort of like eating an apple, kind of, but it's just totally different. It's like eating, or maybe like celery without any of the fibers in it. Let's taste it. Wait, maybe we'll try the refractometer on one of these. I've never tried it. Now these wax jambus are usually a lot larger. Let's try it. I don't know if I'm going to be able to get any juice out of this thing. Got some there. There you go. So it's 7, so really low. These always have a mild flavor. They're just refreshing, and it's got a lot of crunch and just water content. So yeah, that's good. I just tasted it. When I bite in this, it's gonna have like a crunch like an apple. Absolutely different than all these other ones. So it just tastes more, compared to these, the jaboticaba, just tastes more like a vegetable with some sweet in it. So barely, because it was only like 7, but these are just great to, it's almost like a salad kind of topping, or addition to a salad, where it's just not a whole lot of flavor. It actually might even be good with some dressing on it. Well, let's put this aside. We're mostly trying to concentrate on the jaboticabas. So here they are all again. This is the Escarlate, and one little Sabara right here, and we've got the Grimille right here, and then we got what's left of the red right here. So hope you got some information from this video, and thought it was interesting. But thanks for joining me again, and I will see you next time.